It's all good.
Are there embarrassments to the NA Hub?
Welcome back to the TI4 Qualifiers presented by Monster. We're the NA Hub. I'm God. Joining me is Mort, and our casters for this loser bracket round 1 match. It's LD and Merlini. We've got Mineski versus MiTH. Mort, what's a go? What's happening? Mineski falling apart, or...?
They just need to, like, sharpen up in the early game. Like, they need to not do weird, stupid, aggressive tri lanes. They need to get, Jay, like you said, heroes that actually work, and they need to, like, actually, like, play well. Because that last game, like, they lost really early on in the game. I felt like the Naga got too farmed and it just got out of control.
Now, these are some Mott notes I am 100% on board with.
Yes.
Concise, clear, to the point.
That's your typical Mott notes. Mott notes of...
No bullshit, no fluff.
They go straight to the point.
Aren't they like all bullshit and all fluff? Isn't that generally what a Mott note is?
Sometimes they're a little too generic, but these were quite right.
It's like, good. Mineski needs to play better. That's Mott notes right there.
Okay, good.
I give Mott a little more.
Point 1. Point 2. Mineski need to draft better.
I think Mineski's teamwork and team fight execution was actually much better than MiTH.
Yeah,
but they just had the much worse team fight lineup. Was the issue,
I think they showed that also during the tiebreakers yesterday. They beat Orange by just being more patient, having a better late game, better team fight in general. Same against MiTH. So,
that's their strength, not early game and not ganking lineup.
That's why they should draft a bit greedier, because MiTH is not. They don't really play that aggressive in the early to mid game. Like, yeah, they might pick a 5-man lineup, go for a few towers, but the game plan is almost always built around essentially 4 protect 1. 4 heroes go around, create space, and set time for Lakels to get big, so just get bigger. Have Bimbo play a greedier hero, have potentially even Jesse Vash in the offlane on something like a Doom that can farm, and just take the game late with a dual core or tri-core.
You're cheating, LD. You're looking at drafts.
Well, I said this at the end of last game, so
okay.
I'm also cheating. But.
Draft
they
underway.
should also pick Trinity, Doom, Shadow Demon, TA.
Yeah, I think.
Well, I mentioned TA and Doom at the end of last game.
Well, you're saying they should do this. If this fails now, you're wrong.
If it fails, it's just because they actually MiTH is doing something different with their draft though. So this is really good against the way MiTH is normally playing, but MiTH are changing it up.
So do you like what MiTH? Okay, let's just quickly before we pass over to you guys. What are we thinking of these new drafts? Has Mineski changed it up enough with these drafts?
I like it a bit. Like you talked about, Jesse Vash and the Doom, I've seen it before. It works really well, and I like it when he does it in the off lane or even in the solo safe lane. I like Templar Assassin a lot as well. Against an Invoker, I also think it's pretty decent. So I like their draft. It's a little bit less strange than the last draft, and I think they have a chance to definitely win this game and bring it to game number 3.
The other thing they have is the Shadow Demon tree, and they destroyed the opposition with this combo earlier in the tournament. Yeah. One of the teams they destroyed was Zephyr, to be fair, who in general just, didn't do well against most teams. But this combo can run you over in the laning stage if you're not careful. They went for the hide in the enemy side shop in the offlane and then gank them right away, so potentially we see that. But yeah, this is it's a pretty strong level 1 roaming duo, and could catch MiTH off guard.
I think Mineski, when they've done well, it's been a lot on the back of the supports. Like, the supports have really played some of the best Dota out of the Mineski team through their wins. But guys, we'll pass it over to LD Merlini to start the cast of this game. It's game 2. Mineski have to win or they're knocked out of the SEA TI4 qualifiers. Take it away, guys.
Well, Merlini, it's a first overall pick Invoker, and the reply was a Treant Doom. MiTH followed that up with a Wraith King. They are dire side, and I'm trying to recall. I think Lakels did play a carry Wraith King earlier this tournament. Is that correct? Does anyone remember? I'm not getting any reactions. Okay, so then I guess we're looking towards the support Wraith King here. We'll see how they look to lane it, what they look to do with it. But MiTH, at least 2 cores already picked up. Now they go for a Leshrac. Does give you Edict, very nice versus TA. Refraction, you've got Wraith Fire Blast, the Forge Spirits, and Edict to potentially chew through it.
I think they're looking to shut down TA and probably dodge the TA and Shadow Demon. So I don't think they should go aggro with this lineup. And I don't think they're also looking to dodge the Invoker versus TA matchup in mid. So I think Mineski just need to camp out with like Shadow Demon in the mid lane to protect TA. I don't think Living Armor is going to be enough. So I think Mineski expect early aggression from MiTH. And we actually said that MiTH wasn't too aggressive last game. Definitely last game they didn't have the lineup for it with a Naga and a Viper. But this game, they can definitely put up the heat on TA.
Do you think there's any chance we see dual lanes for MiTH here? Like Wraith King, Leshrac, dual lane mid against TA, and Invoker +1 safe lane Centaur off?
No one does that.
That's pretty scary for TA, though. Just get a Sentry Ward and Hellfire Blaster, and that's an easy kill.
It would be pretty good.
It is risky, though. You don't do well in that lane. You overextend. Shadow Demon or Tree comes in.
Go for a jungler.
Yeah.
That's
Jungle Wraith King. We see the Wraith King.
Wraith King Ursa. You should be their coach.
Let's see. Well, it's at least one way they could lane it. I guess the other main option is just the Invoker solo mid and then Centaur off lane defensive tri lane. Is there any chance that we see MiTH go aggressive, you think? Just looking at their hero picks?
That sounds really risky to do, and Doom's relatively easy to shut out in the off lane, so I don't think they need to.
Okay.
It depends on what Mineski picks last, too. If
Whose draft do you like better so far?
I would say Mineski's. It's a little bit more well-rounded. I think they have better matchups in the lanes, too, Invoker versus TA, and they do have the potential to aggressive try, and their aggressive try is pretty strong, depending on their last carry.
Okay. And yeah, I am curious to see what that final hero will be. I imagine we'll see Jay handling the Templar Assassin, Jesse Vash on the Doom, and then I guess that leaves us wondering what carry hero they'll pick up for the safe lane.
I think MiTH should have gone with probably a Timber instead of Centaur. I think Timber would have worked a lot better versus Doom and Dream Protector, but Centaur is like pretty good counter initiate versus Doom. It's just a matter of preference. But
okay,
they don't have any lockdown on Mineski, like nothing. Doom, I mean, that's not even lockdown.
Maybe he's a Centaur. I guess that's the main thing.
Yeah.
But
Well,
even then, that's
I guess Stampede
not a
is
lot.
really good when you have no lockdown too, because everything just gets countered by Stampede.
Can you purge Stampede?
Probably. I think so.
Okay. But it's only one hero anyway. So.
Yeah.
Here we go. Running low
Well,
on
you
reserve.
can do
time.
one too.
That's true.
So.
Marana's the pick for Mineski. So overall, I think this is a pretty solid draft for Mineski. It's well-rounded. Their lanes are strong. They have access to late game. It's not all the eggs in one basket.
Their team fights are really crap though.
That is true. That's the big weak thing for them. But this is more like the draft that they beat MiTH with last time. Stampede cannot be purged, says K-Poptosis. So there was the patch where a bunch of spells got changed. Some were purgeable. Some that used to be purgeable no longer were.
I think it should be purgeable.
I agree. It's already quite a strong spell.
Yeah.
But we'll leave the bouncing to Ice Frog, I suppose. Reluctantly.
I guess
If I had my way. If Fear had his way, there would be no Lich in the game. Enchantress is the final pick for MiTH. This is quite a curveball from them.
So it's carry Wraith King, firstly.
Yeah. So it is going to be the Locale's Wraith King.
That's not the greatest roaming duo, Ench and Leshrac. So I view Leshrac as really weak as a solo roamer. Like you really need a Shadow Demon or someone else to set it up. And
Ench is okay. Depends what creeps you get.
I mean, Troll creep is amazing, but Centaur creep, like they can't even get the initiates done. Especially
Enchantress slow into
maybe if
he
it's
does have the lightning slow. He can almost if there's like if that sets up the Enchantress slow, then maybe you hit a stun, but it's not.
Or if it's Quaswex Invoker. If it's Quaswex Invoker, it's easy.
If they go Quaswex Invoker though, I worry about MiTH's late game a lot.
Yeah.
Already I think they'll be at a disadvantage there if it goes late, but especially with Quaswex Invoker.
Yeah, I don't have high hopes for Wraith King in the late game unless he significantly outfarms the TA and the Marana, but as it stands right now, Invoker's going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting.
Well, it's time. It's time to look at our dark and eerie studio. Welcome to the Mineski Studios. We'll have a quick toilet pause. They had the whole draft to go to the bathroom, but they've waited for now to do it, Ben.
Well, apparently Fog went to the bathroom and he said that they should pick Tiny Wisp, and they came back with a Tiny PA. So, or Wisp Tiny, and they came back with a Wisp PA, and he was like, "What the fuck, guys?" So
was Tiny available?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he said. He's like, "Let's just pick Tiny. I'm gonna go to the bathroom," and then he came back, and everything just went down the drain from there. So
why listen to me? Hey, he qualified, right? So
I know.
Well deserved by Fogg. I know he's been working really hard for that. So, while we have a pause, there's a little chit chat. We'll have some MMR discussion. The one thing I'll say is you see the fans for some of the teams in Southeast Asia tend to be a little more jingoistic than others, really supporting their own country, sometimes putting others down, but the players are all friends. So, guys, in the interest of friendship and positivity, let's all give each other a big E-hug, and yeah, you see what I did there. And look towards somebody having a good time and getting a chance to go to TI perhaps. So, well, guys, it's game 2 of a best-of-3. MiTH on the dire side, leading 1-0. A win here. They've knocked out Mineski at that point. The pride of the Philippines loses their shot to return to the international. It's not happening just yet, but I think this is a better draft for Mineski. Whether it's going to work, I think we'll see. I don't think the last draft was bad. I just think it wasn't good for them. Like, it doesn't suit their players or their style. So I'm happy from what I've seen so far.
So MiTH, I'm trying to think if they can aggro try with it. That's too risky, I'd say.
You think so? Well, the other thing is, like, when you go aggressive, what are your 1v1 matchups going to be? Do you get a big edge in those?
Centaur versus Doom. I think Doom has the upper edge, especially if he is in the Radiant off lane.
And especially if he gets the right creeps. Like, you get a Satyr, that is just a brutal lane for the Doom. How about the mid lane? Invoker generally at a bit of a disadvantage versus TA. Yeah.
It does give easier access to mid, so that's one potential that I could see. I actually think the dual lanes would be kind of cool with Wraith King and Lesser mid, Centaur off, and Invoker top, but
those seem very unlikely with the Enchantress pick. I was thinking they would run more of like a laning support with the Invoker, but
I actually think it might be better with the Enchantress pick because they can kill top very easily with it.
I guess
Doom can just eat it.
Yeah, and smoke ganks from Enchantress. You smoke gank mid with the Wraith King Lesh there, with Sunstrike follow. That is a very difficult gank to dodge, even for a TA.
So Invoker looks like Null first. Looks like he's going mid. So nothing unusual coming out from MiTH in terms of the laning phase.
Well, guys, Game 2's gotten underway. The pause has ended. We'll introduce our teams now. We'll start with the boys that are up 1-0 in the best of 3. MiTH Trust on the Dire side. You've got KYT handling the offlane Centaur War Runner. Going mid will be Abba on the Invoker. I would say Abba, their weakest player in Game 1, but looking forward to seeing him step it up here in Game number 2. TNK, your support Leshrac. Lakels handling the Wraith King. Not more of a classic Lakels hero, but something that we have seen work for other teams before. Boombell, last but not least, will be handling the jungle Enchantress. And then on the Radiant side, oh, they've found a first blood as Centaur just goes really deep. That is a very bold maneuver for someone to just run into the jungle by themselves. Okay, let's introduce Mineski. They've been gifted a first blood here by MiTH, and let's see what they can make of it. Oa will be playing your Shadow Demon in the safe lane. Will be Jesse Vash on the Doom. Looks like they may go for some early roaming, potentially even aggression of their own. Geo playing the Treant Protector. That puts ASXC onto the Mirana. I think Mineski considering this aggressive tri-lane, or is it going to be the quad lane mid? And then Bimbo will be the Templar Assassin going mid. It's quad lane mid. Let's shut down Abba.
I don't like these Obzords. They're strange looking.
The cosmetic.
Yeah.
Thanks for your contribution, Ben.
No problem.
That's why we pay you the big bucks.
This one's strange. It's very strange. It looks like a statue. It could be mistaken as an environmental thing.
Are you quite done yet? No, just kidding. It's a little distracting. It's ruining my immersion. That's generally my response to most cosmetics. Fortunately, I'm not the average Dota 2 fan.
Oh,
Boombell gets spotted. They actually have a Sentry Ward here, and they're
So
going to catch
dead.
him out. Arrow to fly. It's 2 quick kills for Mineski. I mentioned they like to get aggressive on the laning stage with this Tree Shadow Demon. It's worked for them earlier in the tournament, but this is kind of odd angles to go aggressive into, and MiTH did not expect it. You don't really see teams go 3-hero gank deep in the enemy jungle after creeps have spawned. And it's risky, because if you don't find the kill, then you've missed a lot of experience in the lane. But, in fact, they do, so off to a great start.
Off to a great start indeed, and I think MiTH is the one with a high risk, high reward supports, and with them taking a spill this early game with Anch already and Centaur not doing well in the bottom lane, it's really, really bad for them. I think much worse than if Mineski were to be 0-2.
The other thing is Leshrac is just food if he falls behind, especially for Tree. Tree walks in, he leech seeds you, and you're dead. The follow-up will be there from the Soul Catcher, the right clicks, and TNK walking right past the Radiant Observer Ward. They see him, and they might well be about to find him. And in fact, there you go. He'll get caught now. Disruption comes in. The leech seed follow-up will be there. The arrow's on the mark. ASXC slams it home, and Mineski striking back here in Game 2. Already leading 3-0. And on top of that, doing decently in these 1v1 matchups. Bimbo sitting at 5-2 mid. He's ahead of the Invoker for Abba, only 2-2. Looks like they might go top in a second. And bottom lane, there's a bit of a dive here. No, Doom just, you mentioned, will have the edge on Radiant off lane, but especially safe lane. He's having a great time. So they're winning all 3 lanes. 4 if you want to count the jungle.
Yeah. Poor Boombell has his work cut out for him. He needs to get something done now, but he's already scouted by 2 Observer Ward or an Observer Ward. If he smokes right now, they'll see him. So.
Oh, he actually smokes out of vision.
They know.
They still saw him walk away.
There's
like
no
that.
reason that you would run back to your T2 unless you're smoking. So. They know what's going on.
Unless you need another toilet break, but that's what they have their pauses for. Hopefully his bladder's bigger than that. Boombell, he'll now head towards the middle of the map. He'll go towards mid, but already Mineski are ready, and this could potentially be a disaster. MiTH not only losing a smoke if this gank fails, but they're also going to just give up another kill and more gold to Mineski. And their lineups, oh, this is looking bad. There's 3 heroes mid. Oh, they should have baited it. Why is he backing off? Well, in the end, they'll find the edge, so I guess it's going to work out nicely. The Soul Catcher does hit the Centaur, though, and that's not really ideal. They'll cold snap up Jay. Jay on the retreat out. In comes the Leech Seed slow. Boombell now forced to pop the heal. Continues his retreat. Abba, oh, he's played pretty aggressively here. Really posting up. Trying to keep his buddy alive. It looks like he will, but now Abba's the one who's going to pay. One more Leech Seed. He will go down. Is it available yet? Cooldown coming soon, but not ready just yet, and no mana for it either. So MiTH Trust dodging a bullet with that one. But still, it's a wasted smoke.
Yeah, they wasted a lot of Mineski's time
That's
too,
true.
but they're doing pretty well in terms of experience. Treant Protector with boots and almost level 3. Shadow Demon, no boots yet, but I mean, they're doing much better than the MiTH Trust supports right now. So much better.
Haste run up for your TA. This is a scary rune, and a pretty bad time for the Invoker for TA to get this. It's a Quas Exhort Invoker as well. You get level 5, you can easily dive him with the wave and get a kill.
So now there's no more smokes on MiTH, so it's just already difficult to gank a TA, and ganking a TA with a haste and without a smoke, that's just not happening. So what are their other options? Killing a Potom, not happening either.
Pushing top is not easy because there's living armor to worry about, and Mirana's not a particularly easy kill for this lineup.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks
I
like
don't know what they
TNK went for no Edict and Lightning Storm instead.
We've seen a lot of people do this, but
I think
it just,
Edict is better this game.
it just means you're not threatening towers. And if you're not threatening towers early against Mineski, when are you going to do it?
We're also
Oh,
not
no.
threatening TA.
Oh, no. Bimbo's found a haste and an invis, and they've seen it too, but what does it matter? He's going to go dunk Boombell right now. The meld, where's that meld? Hasn't used it just yet. Just going to right-click him down with refraction, and, oh, now he gets trapped. Still the jukes. Boombell is the heal. He's baiting this a bit, but I don't know how effective it's going to be. Not bothering with the heal. Just continues to run through the trees. He's broken Jay's ankles. The haste run's going to wear off. Then the stun comes out. Big plays, but meanwhile, they lose the bigger hero. Wraith King dies top lane, so we're getting excited here for MiTH, or at least I am, but it's not looking like it was enough.
Easy, Mineski.
And they're winning their solo lanes as well. Invoker, a little, but just not controlling runes on the back foot. He's keeping up in farm okay. They lose the Wraith King top lane, and the big key for me is that Doom is just crushing bottom lane. 25 and 5, already is level 6. Centaur actually keeping up in terms of CS, but well, he hits level 6 on the Doom and can easily look towards a kill here.
Looks like Wraith King's not going a greedy build too, already with the Belt of Giant Strength, so no MiTH, no anything questionable coming out of him, and with him not doing well in the early game either, Mineski just probably going to take this mid game by storm.
Yeah, that's where MiTH are just going to have to outmaneuver them. Get some good wards up, anticipate the rotations from the tree and the Shadow Demon, maybe control some runes.
But how do they, I mean,
so
even if
TA
they
doesn't
do
get-
anticipate it, like SD disrupting the arrow, someone's dead, regardless of whether your supports are there or not.
I'm just
so.
not a big fan of Leshrac, especially as a support. I feel like if you want Leshrac, like you can just get Shakiro. Much tankier, has more, like has equally good damage output in most cases, and also just a much safer pick.
I think you just have to pair him up with someone that's good. Like Ench is just such a difficult partner. It's such a difficult duo. If they
And he
had
wasn't
SD
even with
Lesh-
the Enchantress, he was just
Yeah.
dual laning.
If they have SD Lech, I think that's much stronger. But without a good setup, he's a very weak hero.
Haster in for Abba. You don't often see Invokers going to check runes. Normally, it's if anything, it's the Forge Spirit that does it, but crucially, does deny at least one rune to Jay, who could easily find kills with that. The wards are getting dropped all over the place, though. Aggressive movement from these Mineski supports, and a good time for it as well, as it's now hit that 6-minute mark. Most wards have expired, generally placed before the laning stage begins, but bottom lane, they go in on Jesse Vash. Nice movement from the Centaur, but it's not enough. Living armor keeping him alive for now. One more right click, he fades. He fades in time, and he will live. Oh, that's huge. First Centaur ult not successful, and they even forced the Invoker to go bottom, during which time Jay's going to say, great, now I can push your tier 1 mid. Well, maybe he'll say, great, I can get kills. Phase boots are up, he's going to start dropping wards or traps in the jungle and looking for this Enchantress. While that happens, top lane, there's a bit of a dive. Lakel's has been disrupted, doesn't have the ultimate just yet, but it's in the jungle where Jay is going deep, looking for a kill as well. Looks like he's going to find it too. No, still getting juked by Boombell. Well, back to top lane, I suppose. Geo looking for the right clicks. TNK goes down to the phase boots Mirana. Now Lakel, still not level 6. He stuns Oa, but they could turn around on him perhaps. The Soul Catcher's still there, tanking up a bit. Geo comes back in. There's a leap forward. Can't tank these tower shots. He nails it. ASXC. He delivers there with an arrow. Is there a Sunstrike? Is there a Sunstrike available? Looks like there's not, or at least not being used yet. They'll put him under Nature's Guise, and he should be okay. So, did Enchantress end up going down again? I think she
No.
lived.
I think she lived. Yeah.
I'm so... Bimbo's had so much trouble finding this Enchantress.
Well,
it's only a level 1 meld.
Poor Wraith King. I actually think Wraith King's carry plays really poorly from behind. He has no AoE. He can't clear Ancients. He can do neutrals, but very, very slowly.
He's not a great comeback hero.
Yeah, they need MiTH on him. They need a lot of farm if they want to win this game. And I mean, TA hasn't died yet this game. No one's died yet on the side of Mineski. And I mean, how are they going to get kills?
Even the Doom that they like, it felt like they had it. Living armor and the really well timed Mirana ultimate completely turned that. And it looks like it will be a MiTH for Jesse Vash. He's already got Gloves of Haste. He's not far off the recipe. Generally, you see this the other way around. So in the recipe first, you buy the gloves from the side shop. It's just a bit more efficient, but. I mean, is there any chance he goes something else?
They're smoked on top, looking for a kill on ASXC, but I don't know about this.
He's sitting pretty far back here. And if they get the stun, but Mirana leaps in time, I don't think Leshrac will even get in range for his own stun. Especially with these phase boots.
Nope.
So, in terms of support impact, oh, they look for the stun, won't find it. I just feel like Mineski's supports have done infinitely more than MiTH's thus far. Enchantress has been completely thwarted. Sure, she wasted a bit of the TA's time, but hasn't actually gotten any kills, pressured towers, and Leshrac has yet to do a thing.
I also think it was a drafting issue, too.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the combo.
Why Leshrac?
I'm a Leshrac hater.
I think he's okay in some lineups. Mostly really good at taking down T1 and T2 early, if you can expect a defensive try, but another setup.
Oh, threads the needle. ASXC does. There is an ultimate here for the Wraith King, though, but it's virtually wasted. Generally, when this ult drops, you want to see something happen on the back of it, and so far, not much has happened. Maybe they turn around here, but I fear it would be a mistake. Meanwhile, mid lane, Invoker's gone down, but the action breaks out top where Geo gets caught by a Centaur ult. They do find a kill. Now looking for ASXC. Forced to retreat out. That's slow from the Lightning. There's still a leap available, and it will in the end be a 1-for-1. An Invoker for a tree on opposite sides of the map, and they got rid of the Wraith King ult. That's going to be down for 4 minutes. So I would say overall, it's still a win for Mineski.
Indeed it was. Looks like Doom was the one to rotate, and now he has a MiTH of his own. So 10 minutes, MiTH and phase on Doombringer, and meanwhile, Invoker probably around halfway to his recipe right now. So this early and mid-game is shaping up really poorly for MiTH. Doesn't mean they can't come back, though. They do have mass stun lock in case.
How do you feel about their mid-game? Like, they're losing the laning stage. How's their mid-game, like, and even potentially heading towards the late game?
They just have to play really well on supports, but judging from what I've seen in the first 10 minutes, it's probably not going to happen. They can do Roche sometime, too. They have summons from Invoker, they have Lifesteal, they have Untouchable level 2 on Ench, so maybe they can get back in the game that way. But if they don't take down towers in like next 5 or 10 minutes, I think their chances of coming back are extremely low.
Kind of the opposite of last game, where it felt like if Mineski didn't do a ton in the laning stage, they just had a very low percentage chance to win in the mid and late game. So, well, there's your MiTH on TA. Late game secured even more so at this point. Double MiTH online. Invoker is going for one. Maybe we see Wraith King go for one, but there's also Devour to factor in, and Mineski just having the better late game draft, and on top of that, they've got their MiTHs first. So, yeah, late game not looking like the way that MiTH Trust can take this right now. The MiTHs will come out. Meanwhile, Enchantress being scouted out here as the rotation comes in. Though. This could be the opening. There's a lane ward, though. They've seen him come in. This was dropped down much earlier, and I guess MiTH just didn't see it go down. I think it was even dropped in vision.
So it's up to Centaur right now. Can he find Initiate with Blink Dagger? Can he get a lot of kills? Can he create space for Invoker and the Wraith King to get some farm?
Well, this is not looking like a good start. He's already shown the Blink top lane as well, so looks like are they smoking up with these other two heroes top lane? No, maybe just defending. Well, so for the time being, MiTH Trust just in a defensive posture, and Mineski, Tricore, all at the topping of the charts right now. 1, 2, 3, way ahead in terms of net worth on their 3 key heroes. It's looking good for Mineski here in game number 2. Very, very good.
But MiTH hasn't lost any towers yet, so they do have that going for them. Looks like Doom is going for an early mech, and he doesn't really need a carry, so I think him going support items and auras is a fine build.
Even the Mirana can go somewhat utility, like go for Mjolnir, throw that on the TA or the Doom later on. To me, the TA is the ideal, like, true one-position hero for this team, so I like the idea of the Doom doing what he's doing, and even the Mirana doing something similar. Even things like drums would be nice for this team.
It certainly would. I think they just need to concentrate on... oh,
there's your Blink Stomp initiation on mid. Jay's been isolated. In comes the Living Armor, though. It keeps him alive. Then the Disruption. They just can't bring him down easy. And he'll be able to get out here with the Haster, and no Tornado to remove that. Well, not the right Tornado, I should say.
So, like, who do you really gank? Who can you gank?
What do you do? That's my real question if you're Myth. What's your game plan? I don't know if they really have a good play. And meanwhile, Doom's just solo pushing bottom. He's going to take this tower as well. He gets the last hit too. There's your mech. I almost want to say Mineski have the better team fight now. And in fact, I think they do. As soon as Overgrowth comes out.
They do, but MiTH is also not really that strong. Wraith King contributes very little. Enchantress, very little. Leshrac under farm, very little too. Invoker and Centaur are really only teamfight heroes, but even those don't provide that much. So
it doesn't take much for Mineski to have better team fight.
Yes.
The one other thing Myth maybe have is an Enchantress Roche sneak if they can get a medallion on someone. She is leveling up Untouchable, and they do have Wraith King and Exort Invoker. I feel like that's the best thing that Myth have to pull out of the hat right now.
Man, TNK so poor he's ferrying over Clarity Potions to himself. Man, his net worth is 615. So less than the gold that you start with.
These are the third world problems of Dota 2, man. You're ferrying Clarities out at 14 minutes in. And they're also playing in the dark, as Roland's pointing out. The vision's pretty lacking here. They will group up top lane. They have Wraith King online, and they'll try to pressure some towers, but they're fighting their way. Actually, still no Overgrowth. They'll have it in one creep. And if there's not detection ready, yeah, there's your Overgrowth. Myth Trust, Sentry Ward's pretty far back, and let's see if Mineski want to fight. They have the option to just trade, and it seems they'll use the Living Armor to slow this down, while two heroes push mid. And they could even potentially take this engagement. I feel like they can defend, and they can push if they want to. Looks like they'll just split push.
This tower is so unimportant.
There's a Blink Stomp initiation. He somehow gets the Mirana. She actually left right as the Stomp came out. Then the Overgrowth comes. It only slows, and now the tree could be caught. Is there Sentry Ward to run him down? No. Looks like the tier 1 should fall. The trap gets deployed. Lakel still has ultimate. This is about as good as you're going to get for Myth. In fact, with the Sunstrike, Geo nearly falls. He actually goes down to the Forge Spirit right-click. I believe. Yeah. And now down he goes. They get the tower, too. Some unnecessary deaths here for Mineski.
Mineski, they didn't need to defend that at all. The other two just could have spent their time farming. I don't really know what they were waiting for. Maybe they tried to wait for TPs to come out for Myth to defend mid and then take a fight there, but that didn't happen.
Mineski getting sloppy here in game number 2. They had such a comfortable lead, and now Bimbo, Jay throws his own life away. If they want to defend towers, they need to do it with the whole team. And part of this does go back to the lack of vision right now for Mineski. They didn't have a lane ward top, and after the tower fell, didn't have a ton of vision, but just play it safe. Wait until you see the other heroes showing up in other lanes.
Or if you do that, have the Shadow Demon behind you so that you can escape safely.
Agreed. Well, in spite of giving up some casual deaths here and there, that's what Mineski's lineup is able to do. They have the double MiTH, they have Devour, they have a Tricore. They only lost the tier 1 top in terms of key map objectives. I think they're still in fine shape. It's just they need to stop making those mistakes.
Yeah.
Let's see if they do it.
Even this, it doesn't really make a dent into the gold graph. They're still at 7,500 gold lead.
I still believe the Pinoy dream, a return to the International. I have the faith. I'm keeping it.
Well, Moonlight Shadows trying to scout out people.
I think they saw the Invoker with that Observer Ward, but it looks like he'll make it out in time. And Myth are going for something a bit risky here with the Enchantress catch-up Midas. The one thing
I think it's the right choice.
This going to go for Roche though. Those are the two main options to me. Like if you don't go for Midas, you can go for Medallion and try and sneak Roche. But you think this is the better play?
I think it's the better play. I mean, if they gotta win it, it's gonna be, even if they win the mid game, it's still gonna go late, just because they're so far behind. They need a lot of time to be able to catch up, and if it's only Wraith King doing damage, they're probably gonna lose. And he's going for a Treads Drums build. So where's your damage coming from?
Wraith King is so easy to kite as well.
Yeah, he really is.
They have traps, they have purge, disruption. I mean, the list goes on. Everything on Mineski pretty much kites Wraith King.
And I mean, does Doom even need a kite Wraith King?
Like no, you don't Doom Wraith King.
No. Does Doom even need to kite him? Like, he doesn't even need to run away from him.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, like you said, he's going Treads Drums. He has no damage.
Yeah, he has no damage. He has 2 points in crit, no Vampara.
Yeah, I think if it goes late, Enchantress and even more so Invoker, those are your key 2 late game damage dealers. Though they have their work cut out for them.
Yeah. Wraith King needs like a Radiance or something ridiculous, Mjolnir to carry this.
This guy is not farming to Radiance, let me tell you that right now.
I don't
Get
know,
rid of
man.
any ambitions of Radiance are fools.
Lakel's, the dream is real.
There's no dream. They find the Blink Stop. They do isolate Oa, and I think they get the kill here even through the Living Armor. Indeed they do. Myth finding those pickoffs, known for more of their 4 or 5-man Dota in the mid game.
This is another free tower.
Yeah, Edict is doing its work. Hey, if you get those kills, you will get the free
They've
tower.
recovered so nicely, though.
Their counter initiation. They'll go in now with the Doom. He does Doom up Abba. He's out of the fight. The Stomp comes through on Jesse Vash. They're throwing a lot on this Doom, but the tower falls. It goes the way of Lakel's, and now it's up to Jay to dive in deep, find some kills. He's been stunned. He's been caught out. He can't even kill off TNK. Now they disrupt the Wraith King. Still has his ultimate. You don't want to waste time focusing him. Well, they'll at least pop the ult here, it looks like. And he'll in fact go in. He wants it to slow down Mineski. They'll get the slow on 4 or 5 heroes. Now Bimbo, he gets Wraith Fire Blast. He goes down as well. Why are they focusing Wraith King? What are they doing in Mineski City? Now the dust comes on the Geo, trying to chase out the Treant Protector. He takes a double hit. He'll take a stun. He's not getting out of this one. He buys a medallion before going down. But all of a sudden, what started as, I believe, a 6-0 game or a 6-1 game is now a 7-7 game.
The 5-man snowball, too strong. Mineski just, they don't have to fight. Like, dude, they have 2 Midases, and MiTH is just hitting them where it hurts, right? When the Midases
and they have so long to decide to disengage. Like, it's not like they choose to fight and it's like, oh crap, we should have backed, but it's too late. That fight, they had like 10 seconds to change their mind. They just kept on chasing the Wraith King.
Yeah, and it wasn't even a nice initiate from Doom, but the Doom was about to run out right as they killed Wraith King. So Invoker just was able to unload all his spells.
Still, nice play by MiTH. The TA was on the verge, I believe, of killing off, it was either Leshrac or Invoker, and then at the last second that hero made it out. So they stunned him at the right time as he was, I believe, like mid-casting of the trap, and then just retreated out. So they played it well.
Now Necrobook coming out soon on Invoker, so TA is actually going to be in a fair amount of trouble. He does have Blink, and he does have Yasha, so...
He needs BKB. He needs it bad.
Yeah. Centaur is actually having some really nice initiates too, so...
I think if MiTH or if Mineski get 2-3 BKBs, their team fight goes like several orders of magnitude stronger, though. Because MiTH are... Where's their damage coming from? It's Impetus and it's Invoker, and only one of those...
The only problem with that is I think they can just disengage with Stampede.
That's true.
So, then just leave Lakel's out to dry, which is okay. He doesn't really do anything, besides kind of tank.
They can also just look to get other tank items. They don't have to
He's going to get Radiance.
Is he really?
Get Radiance. Come on, Lakel, the dream.
It's not bad against TA. I mean, and it's not bad against Living Armor either. It's an item that's decent this game. It's just farming it is always the problem.
He's halfway to his Relic, almost.
Ben, you're talking about like a 28-minute Radiance.
Whatever, dude. It's Lakel's.
Okay. Maybe we see the classic Battle Fury Wraith King. Ultimate.
I like a Mjolnir Wraith King too.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is Mjolnir builds up nicer, accomplishes as much if not more, and it's just
aim high, man. Don't settle. He's up against a lot of damage though, so I don't know.
We'll see. Does Doom disable Radiant Spur?
I don't think so. Doom's really strange though.
There's a few things it doesn't, but like the vast majority it does. We'll get K-pop Tosis on the case. He's like, oh, I have to do work now. Does Doom disable Radiant Spur?
I don't think it does.
Base Kip says no, and he said it very emphatically. Jesse Vash will get caught now. There's your stomp to start this fight off. Then he follows up. That's a lot of nuke damage, and the mech carrier nearly dead. He will get off the mech, it looks like, with the defensive disruption, but now it's just on himself. He actually chooses to Doom Wraith King. Doesn't have the ultimate.
Why?
So at the same time, he's a
Why Wraith King? That is literally the worst hero to do on their team.
He actually doesn't have the ult, but it's still just like he's just a damage sponge anyway. And he was at full HP.
He's trying to delay his Radiance. That's what he's trying to do.
Lakel's is balling out of control, man. I think at this rate, we do see a run. Mineski just keep on taking awful engagements. That one had a nice Observer Ward setting it up. But yeah, overall, it's just... Mineski have some margin.
Why are they fighting into the Aegis? Like, I don't know.
Now the problem is, having lost a few fights, they might have to start taking them.
They lost so many fights. It's
they
absurd.
might have to start taking them, because MiTH can actually bring down towers quickly. With the Forge Spirits now having 2, the Necrobook, and Edict.
Man, last game, Mineski had the better teamfight execution. This time, it's just terrible. They just need to go for picks here and there. Blink Doom someone, Blink kill someone with TA, SD arrow into Disrupt, or Disrupt into arrow. Those are your initiation tools, but not in a 5-on-5.
The Radiance streams are dead.
Oh.
Lakel's the slayer of hope for all Radiance fans everywhere.
No, Lakel.
Boo.
Maelstrom's good.
Yeah, Mjolnir's just, I think, a much more solid item pickup.
You gotta aim big, man.
If he was farming really well, maybe.
I guess Shadow Demon can replicate the
That's
radiance
also
too.
true. So Mineski down, but I don't think out of it yet.
It's definitely not out.
Yeah, they still are doing decently in terms of net
They
worth.
got double MiTH, man.
The late game's still strong. It's just they have to find some momentum. To me, Mineski is one of the most momentum-based teams in the qualifiers across all regions. When they're playing badly, they just tilt out of control. And when they have one good fight, suddenly it's like the team gets a ton of confidence. And they just play like a completely different team.
Look at Boom Bell. The recovery MiTH. He almost has Scepter.
They also took 4 towers off the back of that, as well as the Aegis. So, yeah, he's the MiTH and just all the map objectives really adding up here. 0 to 7. Okay, it was even worse than I remembered.
Well, I don't think they'll be able to make anything happen with the Aegis, but MiTH gets a huge momentum swing in the past 3 or 4 minutes. And Invoker, he has his Necro 3. That's scary.
This is a bit of a concern, and it really means they need the BKB on TA. That way she can focus down the Necro units in fights and not have to worry about the mono burn. But
And they have a gem on Invoker, too.
She actually just picked it up.
So
yeah, they can still spot her out in fights.
Leshrakt's really good for that, buying gem for people.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Well, they don't have a ton on BKB on MiTH, though. Troll Trap. Yeah, they don't have much on BKB.
That's about it.
They just have to wait it out, like you said. Just use the Centaur ult, try and disengage. The nice thing is Mineski can force them to fight if they time if they get a good overgrowth, if they get a decent Doom off. They can also Doom Centaur, potentially. Like, anyone except for Wraith King, I would say.
I Invoker, ideally.
Yes. Invoker, ideally. I'd say Centaur is probably the second best choice.
So now Mineski's doing the right thing, which is split pushing when MiTH is threatening with a 5-man. So it should be a trade, and no way they should fight into the Aegis, not when it's this close to expiring.
Well, in the meantime, MiTH Trust take yet another tower, and they look to defend as well. They'll bring down the tier 2 top lane. It falls, and they TP in and defend the tier 2 bottom. So a good trade for MiTH. Nicely done. And the push continues top. The army comes towards the base, and the creeps come marching in. So
They have tree, though.
yeah,
Whatever.
it should end here.
Wow.
Oh,
Just Yvash.
Sunstrike? Will there be a Sunstrike attempt? Oh, just Yvash. He's got to juke this one. He knows it, too.
You can do it.
He's still getting the vision. He'll blink out. And I think he's lost him at this point.
Yeah, too much HP.
Don't go on this Wraith King. Well, actually, there's no one here. Every time I see teams go on Wraith King, it always feels like a bad idea. Even if he doesn't have backup.
You always have to worry about it, though.
Yeah. You have to worry about the backup. They do have a lane ward, but they could be smoked.
So Axon and Chup. Necro. Ooh, the MiTH bots out on Invoker soon. Pipe out on Centaur, so still very good timing from MiTH if they want to make another 5-man push. Ooh, close. Close escape by Mirana there. And, I mean, they need to take down the next Aegis. I think MiTH should definitely fight in the Roche Pit if presented the opportunity.
How much does Pipe actually do this game? Mineski are quite light on magic damage. Their main, I would say, is Shadow Poison.
Doom?
Yeah. Oh, they did actually change Doom, so it's blocked by Pipe recently.
Doom, Shadow Poison, even though he doesn't have any Shadow Poison.
He has
Star
0
Storm.
points in Shadow Poison?
0.
What? This is a very unusual build.
Yeah, they have a lot of physical damage, but, I mean, Mech Pipe is the ideal 5-man item.
True.
So, you can't really go wrong.
Don't forget about that Leech Seed.
Easy Leech Seed.
Oh, let's split push. Bimbo, he'll work on this tower top lane, and Mineski standing strong. They do have that one tier 2 mid, but that's going to be it. Sunstrike will come in and connects on the Mirana. She'll be forced to leap out. This is pretty much how I would like to see Mineski just play. Just split push. Don't take team fights until you have your core items to engage. And maybe we see them try and force a fight when Roche respawns, but that's the main time. Otherwise, there's just no reason to fight right now.
Wraith King going for Sage. Not sure if it's SNY or Halberd. I'd say Halberd's pretty darn good here, but SNY's pretty good too, so it doesn't get kited. Either or. So 2 BKBs up. Looks like Mirana's not going for one, but I think 2 BKBs is enough for Mineski to finally take
Never
a fight.
say never. You clearly have not watched enough Pinoy Dota, Ben.
What? No, I mean, he doesn't need one. Is the thing.
He's actually going Yasha. But the classic Pinoy build is get the Pinoy bar and the Pinoy spear on every hero. BKB Lincoln's every game.
Jeez.
Yeah, you're right, though. He really doesn't need it. Maybe if there's a... no, that's really...
There's too many heroes in the front line for him to have to worry about it. Like, Tree can be in the front, and like, even if he gets in a lot of...
TA will also be the priority target, like 90% of the time. Her
Yeah.
damage output is so much higher than Mirana's.
Yeah, and they have defensive disrupt too, in case like Mirana does somehow get initiated on. So,
There's a good tree, and this could be the biggest item of all for Mineski. If they get a good overgrowth, you're not getting out with Stampede. You will be forced to fight.
Yes.
And that's where you get into trouble against the BKB TA. So
he sold his medallion for it.
Really?
Yeah, he had a medallion earlier.
Yeah, he bought it right before he died in that earlier fight.
Wow. That's unusual. You won't see that very often. I think it's worth it.
They
though.
are gearing up for the Roche fight, and end of the day, like, the main way Mineski's going to take Roche is that, well, actually, it is. I do want to refresh the viewers' memories that when these two teams played yesterday in the tiebreakers, Mineski won the game because they just snuck into Roche on the Radiant side when MiTH had all 4 alive and took the Roche.
Another
So
casual clarity coming out from TA. 28 minutes in. Gotta get that mana.
did he sell his bottle?
I don't. Yeah. This is not efficient. This is not good use of money. He was in base too. He was in T3 when he cleared it up.
I do love buying a casual clarity at certain points in the game and in certain situations, but this is not one of them.
Gotta get that mana.
Here comes Bimbo.
He needs a TA trap. Okay, finally he puts the TA trap in Roche. It
And I
was long
believe
overdue.
MiTH still has a gem as well as the
Yeah.
Necro 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'd see the trap
Wait,
die.
who has it? Oh, now Leshrac. That's the worst hero to carry it.
He's got Bracer, man. It's fine.
Okay, they passed it. Okay, what? Well, yeah.
He's just the gem delivery service. It's no Wraith. Like, why would you not give it to Wraith King? I guess he needs his magic wand.
Does he though?
Well, yeah. There's no mana burn, so maybe he doesn't.
So
MiTH
another
will try and do the Roche.
This
The
is-
trap's been killed off, and
easy Roche. Unless they want to smoke right now, but I think even then it'll be too late.
I don't. I
Oh.
don't know. MiTH don't have a medallion, I believe, and here they're going to go. Jesse Vash will lead the way. He's got a BKB. He can just jump in with the BKB. Look to go into the pit. He's leading the charge. He gets into the pit. He stops. He catches everyone. Then over the top, the overgrowth as well. The Roche dropping low. It's killed by the Radiant. It's snatched by Abba. So in the end, it's okay for MiTH, but the Aegis popped instantaneously. And now it's clean up in the pit. Boom Bell. Run. Head for the hills. You're not fighting any longer, Bubba. Lakel's forced to retreat out as well. The Aegis carrier, it's Abba. He goes down twice. Grand Theft Roche from Mineski. 30 minutes in. 9-8 the score. They finally got a pulse.
Casual gem in pit. There he goes.
Okay. They needed that so bad.
Why the heck did MiTH not have any vision? Like, why did they not place obs wards or, I don't know. They just allowed him to blink in and just destroy them with that overgrowth.
There's a stomp mid. Mineski might get caught out here. They don't have a BKB. There's a nice defensive disruption. Then the stomp comes out from Jesse Vash. Does Jay turn and fight? He gets dusted. He wants to run. He's incredibly slow right now, but just almost kills off TNK instantly. Straight to the dome from Bimbo. Then looks for Lakel's. No ultimate. He slowed everyone, but he's the one on the run. He goes down to the Shadow Poison, I believe, there in the end, which finally got skilled, or maybe it was the Purge. Either way, they get 2 more kills. They force out a Leshrac buyback, and they all live. What a win for Mineski.
Leshrac doesn't need any items. Don't worry. This is Bracer Gaming time for Leshrac.
Leshrac is... The only way Leshrac is a useful hero this game is for the stun, and if everyone's dead and he can Edict Towers. That is his full utility for this
He
game.
can Lightning Storm from a mile away.
It's just
And slow people.
inconsequential damage at this point.
The easy, slow point is...
You sound like you're trying to
Struck
convince
enemies
yourself.
are slowed by 75% for 0.5 seconds.
Key number there is the 0 part. 0.5 seconds.
4-second cooldown.
Yeah, the slow does not scale, as K-pop brings up. It should scale. It should be a 200% slow. It should just basically be a glimpse. Like, it sends you back the way you came. Right into the clutches of the enemy team.
So now that Mineski finally took a good team fight, they're right back in the lead. 10,000 gold lead for them, and they managed to get the kill on Roshan, but not the Aegis. But Aegis was, as you said, inconsequential.
That was just really risky for MiTH, too. They killed the trap in the pit. They knew that Mineski had vision of it, and they still went for it without a medallion. If they have a medallion, they easily take that road.
Well, they also got caught off guard by the Blink tree.
That's true. Had he shown the blink before
No,
that?
he didn't. He just bought it.
So, yeah, that was a key game changer. Even Jesse Vash jumping in was pretty strong as well. He's still got the Centaur Stomp. We're not seeing him opt for an Alpha Wolf, but frankly, given their lack of lockdown, I quite like this choice. I think you even want to stay with this the whole game. Unless MiTH get a bunch of BKBs, then maybe you just go Alpha Wolf.
Yeah, I don't think Wraith King's going to get one. Centaur probably not either. Invoker maybe like super late, but it looks like he's going for 4-step.
We'll have a clash bottom lane, perhaps. Lakel's in the front lines, poking at some creeps. This Wraith King is dropping the hammer now. Smack. Chop. Slash.
Doesn't have Reincarnate, but...
Hearts TA. This is a first.
Heart's fine.
That's a first. I want some stats on this K-pop. How many Heart TAs have we seen? He's looking it up.
Generally, I think if you're looking at a defensive TA, he'll go Manta or Butterfly. But Butterfly doesn't really do that much here because Wraith King still doesn't hit very hard.
You can't go Lifesteal because you've already gone for Deso as well. 3 times, ever.
That's it.
This is only for 6.0 and prior, but it is very unusual. Still,
I don't think it's bad choice at all.
as long as TA lives this game, Myth they're not going to win in terms of sustained damage output. So you survive the initial burst and you turn the fight around.
She still does a ton of damage even without any sort of refraction. She does 241 without refract and
Well, that's a midget tornado, but
dang.
KYT with the big plays. Blake's in, stomps, finds the kill, and Myth Trust. That's an important one. Meanwhile, though, they're going to lose a tier 2 bottom. It looks like they actually TP in the Wraith King directly on the tower.
That's a no.
He thinks better of it.
That's a no.
That's a say goodbye to your ult for Nada. It's still the level 2 ult, so no 1 minute cooldown just yet.
Can he carry though? Can Lakel's really carry this? Look at net worth.
No, I don't think he can carry it. It's like the team has to. Like they need a 3/4 hero blink stomp. The Invoker's got to hit 3/4 heroes with his combo, and then maybe Lakel's can right click some people.
That's
I
such
mean,
a tall order.
Do you actually think he can do any damage in these fights? They have so many ways to kite him.
No.
Okay.
No. Just no. I mean, Wraith King is... He had a poor early game, and what's his combat mechanic? No MiTH, like, no AoE. What does he really do?
Yeah, it's where you'd love to have the TA on your team instead of, like, say, Invoker mids. You actually have a strong late game damage dealer.
That's true.
And that's the other reason why I generally prefer support Wraith King, because he's so useful even with very few, like, relatively few items. Get Treads, maybe Magic Stick, and Blink Dagger, and you're good to go. And it frees you up to have other heroes that are a little bit more reliable doing the damage.
No one's even making use of the Vampiric Aura either. Like,
yeah, Impetus damage isn't going to heal you, and they just don't have much right click.
Well, actually, Enchantress might be able to do a lot of damage, though. She hits hard.
She's Mescametis. Yeah, she's their damage dealer. She's also... The thing is, like, you just doom her at that point. If she's actually doing that much damage, I think even over Invoker.
Yeah. If she has her ulti, or Nature's Tennis up, I don't know. She's... What does Doom get at this point? Doom is fat. Jeez.
I really like the Doom for Mineski. And they actually ban it versus Myth in Game 1. I think it's a bit underrated in other regions, but it just fits the Southeast Asian style very well. A lot of the teams are chaotic. We tend to see less orderly confrontations. Heroes often get caught out of position or overextend, and that's where Doom is a very scary hero. He is most successful in chaotic games.
And he's so good at playing greedy, too, which I think is a key point in
most
both
of
these teams play.
I think Arrow may be the best team at punishing greed in the qualifier, but outside of Arrow, there's not many teams that can really do it that well.
They make too many mistakes to play super aggressively early. So, let's see. Smoke up on top lane, but no one's even close. Actually, Jay, with a heart, I don't know. He could die. Maybe?
They're going to go for it. Let's see how effective this heart truly is. The refraction's there, and then just gets machine gunned down by the imps. He fades, but...
That's a big loss. And he's
does
gonna
he have buyback?
He has the buyback, I think, for this.
Does he have the buyback?
Yeah,
he does. Okay. Did that Enchantress work? There's literally a machine gun. Keeps on plinking away. They force out the buyback. They'll just run away now. And meanwhile, bottom lane, Mirana is going to be breaking the base, so it's still really bad for Mineski having to buy back there.
I think breaking's an overstatement.
Plinking.
Plinking, yes.
Plinking the base. Just letting the base know you're there.
That was a smart move from Myth. Very smart.
No flame on the heart item pickup. In that case, doesn't matter what he has. He still dies, but it's just more...
It's more support positioning and his overextension.
We saw that in Game 1 as well, where he was on the Luna, and he would often be too far extended. Sometimes the Venge was there to swap him out, but still it's just unnecessary deaths for the supports at that point. And then in the bottom lane, when they went aggressive, Jay often caught out on his own there as well. He's just a very aggressive carry player. Like, he's going to go for big flashy plays. He's going to split push very
So notice him running
far
around
on his
in
own.
mid now because he doesn't need any more items. He's almost 6-slotted at this point. Well, actually, he can't get any gold, but he is almost 6-slotted. He can get, like, what, Manta maybe, and then I guess maybe an AC?
Desolator's something you can potentially replace later on. You can get a new BKB. Yeah, I don't know.
He doesn't need to, though, because they have a Doom and Mirana who can make use of the items. Mirana still has quite a few slots to go.
Yeah, getting a farm Mirana is probably the most important thing. Also, the thing is she's probably going to get to right-click a lot more in fight. She's more mobile, she's got better attack range, and she won't be the focus of the enemy team generally.
This poor Leshrac. He still has just one bracer.
He's got 1,600 net worth.
Easy ward.
Gold per minute is that what is that? Let's see. 184. Somehow ahead of the Shadow Demon. Oh, I guess he had the buyback earlier?
Well, he's buying all the wards, so that doesn't increase his net worth.
Okay, that's right. Works on the tower. Jay will take this one easily mid. And Mineski, they're kind of gifted one, but MiTH not wanting to take fights when Mineski are 5 outside of their own base. Is Roche up yet? Should be coming
Soon.
fairly soon.
Max Roche respawn.
2 minutes to go. Yeah, we've seen 2 already this game. 2 11-minute Roches.
So if they kill T8, they may actually be able to do like a decent amount of base damage. So Jay has to play extremely carefully. Shadow Demon should just straight sit behind him so he makes sure that he doesn't die. And it looks like they may actually be gearing up for another gank on him. Everyone's steeping down bottom. They want to kill Jay. This could be a Roshan too if he dies.
This is the one way they can lose the game.
Oh my gosh, Jay. Oh, buddy. They're picking him out.
Oh boy, here comes Boombell marching forward.
It was
No,
it was a
let's
nice move. But
I'm glad you bring that up because that's like the easiest way for them to lose the game is him dying, not having buyback. Other heroes can die. As long as they buy back, they're fine. But he dies, the enemy team takes Roche, or maybe just goes base, tries to Raxi, then takes Roche. That's scary.
Roshan up in 1 minute's time, maximum respawn time, and I think MiTH can do it again. They should just deward it right now so they have no idea, or Mineski has no idea when they're doing it. They actually don't have a gem anymore. Who is carrying it right now? Looks like it's on the Treant.
Yeah, pretty decent choice, especially when MiTH don't have a gem of their own right now.
15,000 gold lead.
The Slash is not buying a new gem anytime soon, I feel. That's a pretty big lead. Though for 40 minutes it's not overwhelming, but it's significant.
It's pretty significant when you have a better late game. That's
Yeah.
the scary part.
So group up bottom. The Roche is about to respawn, and at this point both teams know it's got to be coming soon. It is the full 11 minute out of the possible 8 to 11.
So sells the casual Yasha, buys the butterfly. Now she doesn't have buyback, even if she does have the timer up.
What's the timer at? It
2
should be like
minutes?
2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
I guess they figure they can't wait because then they might give up Roche. Oh, Mineski going to do it again. They smoke up. Last time they did this, they took Roche, and they're going to go right into the pit. Jay blinks in. They're going straight for it. They already did this once to MiTH. They knocked them almost out of the tiebreak matches yesterday with it, and they could well do it again. The Roche is dropping low, and MiTH are not in position. What a play from Mineski. MiTH are going to get caught with their pants down again. And this is going to be an Aegis and a cheese. So much for not having buyback now.
What the heck did she sell for her Aegis?
You got rid of Blink Dagger.
Blink Dagger?
Okay.
Wow. I guess that's okay.
They're going on Lakel's mid lane.
I mean, it's so difficult to win this next fight that's impending. They're just so far ahead in terms of gold, and now with Aegis and cheese, it's very difficult for Mineski to die.
Should Mineski break base right now?
They should, yeah.
Okay.
TA is almost maxed out, so.
Has the Aegis. The buyback's going on in 1 minute's time. Maybe the one thing they could wait for is the Boots of Travel buyback. But here comes the Doom. He jumps in. He Dooms up immediately, but he doesn't have the crit from the Alpha Wolf, and he doesn't actually hit that hard. Arrow will connect on Lakel's, but Mineski, they'll go in with the Overgrowth. Now they are going to commit for some hero kills. Stomp comes through, does stun up Jay for the time being. He's still alive. He's pretty healthy at that. Up 4 hero left stun, followed up by the Imps. But Ench not able to find a kill just yet. Now Jay at long last will pop his BKB. He cleans up one. He's diving for more, but he might be going in too deep. There's a buyback from the Centaur, and Mineski, they've used up a lot here. The BKBs are down. They're going to be forced to retreat. The Doom will pop another Shivas, and then he'll retreat out in the end with the Blink Dagger. Tries to beat a path back towards his base. Arrow will fly. Won't find anyone. Not the... Did they use the cheese there as well? I think the Doom had picked it up.
Yeah, I think Doom used it. They were just in way too deep. Like, Tree was initiating.
And it was not at the same time. Doom blinked in Shiva's Doom, then Jay ran in, and then a few seconds later Tree ran in, and like as one hero went in, the other was running away.
TA didn't use BKB during that initial double ulti by Mineski either.
And got stunned. That was like the overgrowth was the perfect time for her to go to work and make wood.
So it looks like 1 death, 1 buyback on the side of MiTH. Not the worst thing in the world considering they could have just straight up lost the game right there.
Key thing for Mineski is at least they have the Aegis, so they can make a go of it again. And yeah, they don't have cheese, but they'll probably have at least 1 Boots of Travel buyback if they want to go for it.
They can just wait for MiTH to come to them. I'm not really sure why they're initiating on MiTH. They can just beat on the tower with this big fat butterfly heart TA with Aegis, and MiTH has to do something about it. She just owns towers with the Desolator.
That's they don't have to dive for kills. They can just siege the tower.
Yeah, they were like almost going into T4s.
Well,
so.
This has been Mineski's Achilles heel in the past. They're sometimes just playing a bit too cocky, over aggressive. They've dodged a bit of a bullet with that one, though, and let's see. Boots of Travel now online for Jay. He's pretty much maxed at this point. Can rebuy his BKB. Can maybe replace the Desolator, though. It is nice if it comes to a base
He can replace his Aegis with, like, a Daedalus.
Yeah.
AC, maybe? Daedalus, I think, is better.
Yeah, AC may be a bit better for the team, but MiTH just don't have much physical damage, so.
Yeah, if they really want one, I think Doom can pick one up.
Yeah, and Just Vash is working towards it. Has the plate mail online now, and well, in the meantime, the Mirana still progressing nicely in terms of items. Has the Mjolnir picked up, can buy a Manta style now, could go straight for an MKB, and she gets 1 more item, now she's hitting hard too. And then she can siege even safer than the TA. TA can just right-click the tower once, put the Desolator buff on it, and then Mirana can do most of the work from long range.
So they're going for Jade right now.
He is going to get spotted out by TNK, and then runs away. He's had enough of overextending after last time.
So what does Wraith King have? Wraith King completed AC, no Mjolnir yet. I mean, TA could also go for MKB, but I don't think Wraith King is their highest priority.
The Brax is really I don't think they have to kill anyone. They can just, like you said, just siege. The base is their highest priority to me. There's a glyph available. We'll want to keep an eye on the buybacks here if they do go for the push, but looks like they're not really doing so yet. Just Bimbo marching down mid, 2 supports heading top. He's got to be careful about pushing in too far, though. Although I guess MiTH, no vision right now. Just those 2 wards bottom side. They have no idea where these other heroes are, and they'll go for the tier 2 top perhaps instead. No, just some warding. Smoking
they're
deep.
not going mid. They're going to waste the time on the Aegis if they don't. They only have 2 minutes left. Lakelz gets caught up by an arrow, but just... Hello.
I liked that one auto attack. just like poke at him, you know, see if he can make a dent.
So Lakelz, does he have buyback? Looks like he does. So they're all good on MiTH. They can make a hold here, I think.
Mineski have Boots of Travel buyback and Aegis on TA. That's kind of scary. Then again, without BKB, that's where she can be dealt with. And she'll work on these forward spirits. The creep wave slowly pushes through top lane for MiTH. But Mineski will have another go at it now. There's still a glyph available. They still got a few buybacks here on key heroes, and Jay will get caught first in the front lines. He's been defensively disrupted. Now the arrow's going to connect on Lakelz, but remember, he does have his ultimate. Doom blinks in. It's a little more coordinated. Then the Trian ult follows up as well, and they focus on Abba. Bimbo comes in with the BKB. Mineski playing as a team. They will kill off Lakelz. Now they might have to back, though, as the Wraith King ult comes through. He's been stunned again. The machine throwing the imps from distance, from range. Another arrow. This one on the mark as well. And then again a blink in. Then again a go. And a crit. Just the Desolate damage connects along with the Meld Strike. They get the kill. They force out a buyback. They may have to run now. Tree did lose his gem in the base. Pretty costly for Mineski. And now the Aegis about to be reclaimed. So MiTH do hold.
That's about as good as a hold you're going to hope for with 20,000 gold in the hole, as well as Aegis and cheese on other teams. So I think MiTH did a fantastic job of holding that high ground.
And they got gem back. Yeah. That is key.
Mineski tried to push up that fight with a little bit just better sieging ability, with TA just plopping away at the tower, but still just so much stun lock, defensive disrupts always have to come out at post Wraith King stun. And Wraith King, I mean, he's not terribly important anyways. He did use his buyback, but they can't ever get Invoker in these fights, which I think is a little bit surprising, mostly because TA doesn't have a Blink Dagger.
That time, they went in as a team, but again, should they be going in on heroes? Because they could have just been sieging. and forcing MiTH to make the move. Then you can, like
Well,
you
they
said,
saw a window with the arrow on Lakel's, so
That's true.
I don't really blame them for
but
that
it's a
one.
Wraith King, right? So
Yeah. Well, they just want to kite him. They're like, hey, we can finally run past him without him whacking away at us.
I believe Jace, does he have something on the courier?
Jay?
Yeah, okay, there you go. MKB. Didn't use the buyback last fight, and now anybody's pretty much going to die if he's able to right-click, but my concern is just his BKB duration. I think it's down to 5 seconds now, or maybe 6. It's getting quite a bit lower.
He's so fat, though. He's double the Wraith King's net worth.
That's true.
That's just
It's
ridiculous.
more the chain stun. Like, he did get kited after his BKB wore off last fight. But yeah, in terms of man fights, well, or just head-on-head fights, I suppose. TA is a woman after all. He's going to come out on top.
Aegis reclaimed by Roshan. I don't know what that Sunstrike was for because it hasn't been 8 minutes yet.
Here comes the go. But Mirana already leaping out. They get the tier 2 top lane. Nice for Mineski. The main thing this means is they can easily rotate for a second lane of Rax if they get the first lane.
MiTH has to just do a better job of controlling Roshan. They got the first one.
They are dive. Last time they just let Mineski do exactly what they did to them in the tiebreak match, and
they lost the second one, and then the third one they just got it snuck from under their nose.
And that one was a full 11-minute Roche. Like, it had to be up.
Yeah,
it's not possible.
I think Ench is actually the one that should do it. She just needs to send creeps in there. They also need to deward that
or
pesky
Invoker.
trap.
They can send Fort Spirits as well.
Yeah, I think he needs his Fort Spirits a little bit more than Ench needs his creeps, though. But either of them just needs to do it.
This looks to be a pretty quick respawn, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, buddy. Ooh.
Well, here comes Jay. He's going to get caught out. He does have a BKB available. He'll pop it right away. He goes in with the one right click, almost kills off Abba immediately, and then who's he going to chase? The imp starts splashing through. They now purge up KYT, but the BKB's over. They need that defensive disruption from Oa. They get it too. Deafening Blast connects. Doom comes roaring in. There's an overgrowth, but
he dooms an illusion.
And the TA's forced to run in the meantime. She's not able to fight, and Enchantress is standing strong, focusing on Jay, and the ties might be doing it. MiTH Trust showing some signs of life. There is still the Wraith King respawn. He comes back in. TA's bought back as well. They almost kill off Oa. It's up to Mirana now. Plinking away. Everybody retreating out. The TA rejoins the fight. One shot. One kill. Splat. Goes TNK, and they look for more. Lakel's, though. Well, his ult's cooling down at 40 seconds, but I don't know if he gets 40 seconds here, Merlini. Sunstrike to come through. Tries to fight. It's not going to happen. They'll bring him down. Mineski just powering through with buybacks and extra lives. Going for the Roche now. In terms of buybacks on MiTH, only the Enchu has one. This means Roche down again. And there is no Wraith King for 65 seconds.
Did the Hex not come out fast enough on the TA? I think she got her BKB out before the Hex.
Yeah, she did BKB first.
Yeah, if they got the Hex on her, it's a very clean kill because they can just stun her down from 100% to 0. But they didn't get the Hex off, and that's what really cost them.
I like this team fight recap. The winners are the ones who lost the team fight less. Both teams coming out negative in terms of net worth there. That's a slightly unusual recap.
But they aren't actually...
They're not punishing this Wraith King's lack of buyback. They could have
Yeah.
maybe threatened to go down mid.
TA's 6-slotted too, so she's not really getting anything. Maybe she can get a new BKB, but...
I think Mirana's going to become the big damage dealer. Like, the TA just gets kited endlessly once her BKB's down.
Yeah, Wraith King's Halberd not terribly useful right now. Mirana has MKB too.
Farm those creeps. Just pop the Static Storm buff on yourself. Go to work. Not Static Storm. What's
Static
it called?
Charge?
Static Charge. Same thing. We're talking about like the Corrosive Breath from Dragon Knight and Corrosive Skin from Viper. Viper strikes easy. That one you can't
What the heck was
scrub.
that leap for? Who knows?
Get that attack speed.
She has a Static Charge on her.
I don't know.
I have no idea either.
Tactical leap. Just to like, keep yourself fresh. You gotta be loose before the race.
She's trying to buffer creeps maybe.
Why you gotta hate Ben?
I'm just questioning. I'm trying to figure out what the heck's going on here.
I think it's mainly for the attack speed, if anything. But they'll push down mid. 5 heroes grouped up. MiTH Trust standing strong on the high ground. They also have a Mantis down now from Mirana. Is there glyph available for the Dire team? Indeed, there is. And, well, here comes the push.
They should have been able to end this game a long time ago with this ridiculous gold lead. It's like close to 30,000 right now.
it doesn't breed a ton of confidence for anyone beating Arrow out of these two teams anyway. But
Yeah.
while the stomp comes in on Jay, he does get caught. There was a Lincoln Sphere there. Now they purge. They go in with the Doom. Jesse Vash is going to zone Abba out of the fight. Then the Overgrowth. It only finds two. It's Boombell. It's Lakel's. Jesse Vash starting to take some decent damage. They will kill off the Wraith King. The tower's finally fallen. At long last, Mineski are doing it. They've broken through the defenses. They're working on the base. TNK will fall, and they slay all before them. Busyan Mineski. They'll take this to Lane of Rax. The Invoker buys back, but this looks to be going to a Game 3. The Pinoy Pride stays strong here, and they go straight for the throne, directly for the win. MiTH Trust have not been able to close the series out, and will now have to play a deciding game number 3. Abba stumped up. Just a few moments here before the throne falls. Invoker already bought back, died again. They'll farm the Enchantress at the fountain. And at long last, MiTH, they sound the horn. They call the GG. Away we go. One more game before somebody goes home.
Carry Wraith King's terrible.
I agree.
There are so many better options out there, and he just got kited all day. Yeah, he was like pretty.
He also didn't synergize well with their lineup. Like, if you want to
Really
run a Wraith
didn't.
King, it's much better with, say, even a sniper like CIS used to run, TA, Shadow Fiend.
You could tell that if Mineski got ahead early, they were just going to win because they have better late game, they have double MiTHs, so it was pretty easy to tell the outcome from early, unless MiTH played really well, but the supports from Mineski actually played much better than the supports on MiTH.
Well, with that being said, Game 3 is coming up. Before we give our thoughts, I guess we've been jabbering a lot here. Base Kit, Mott, welcome back, guys. What'd you think of the game? How do you think of the team's chances going into Game 3?
Honestly, I think like with the momentum that Mineski had, that's good and everything, but at the same time, they played a kind of sloppy game to a certain extent. I mean, they had, I feel like Mineski, they played well, but they were really aggressive early on in the game. They had that first blood, they had like that really big kill lead, and then like they just kind of lost it. They played sloppy again. They had that mid game where like all of a sudden you see MiTH Trust just like 5-manning and like killing everybody essentially. Then there's a couple of team fights that go Mineski's way. They get a couple of Roshans, they get the Aegis, they go from there. And like the thing that is like I think the roughest for Mineski is like it took 52 minutes to go to the high ground like and try to get to that tier 3 tower. That was like, and they were only dealing with, like you said, that Carry Wraith King, which was not that impressive to say the least. So
He didn't right-click anything, man.
No,
Carry Wraith King does not
didn't.
actually right-click anything. But Base Kit, what did you think of the game? What do you expect going into Game 3?
Oh, what do I expect going into Game 3?
Well, if you want to talk about this game, you can.
Yeah,
as well,
I mean,
up to you.
I'm honestly not sure what we're going to be seeing out of Game 3. I mean, this whole qualifier, this series, it's been pretty difficult to predict. I think the one big thought for me coming out of, well, for Mineski was it took the Lincoln Sphere Mirana just a really long time to be relevant. I mean, Jay was absolutely massive. He was doing a lot of work in team fights, but just going for the Lincoln Sphere choice sort of forced Mineski to split push for like an extra 20, 25 minutes, get some items up, get the Mirana relevant, and that to me, that to me was maybe part of the reason why things dragged on a little bit, and they had to make some of those riskier plays as far as sneaking that Roshan and things like that. And again, I don't think it was perfect execution from MiTH. Big props to the Centaur though, KYT. He got that Blink Dagger up, and he made huge plays, kept his team in the game.
He salvaged the game.
Yeah, he really did.
Mhm.
Well, Game 3 is coming up next, guys. Place your bets now with your friends, your family, whatever the case may be. Who's moving on? Will it be Mineski? Will it be MiTH Trust? The winner plays a game against MVP tomorrow. So with that being said, we'll take a quick break. You're watching the International 4 Southeast Asian Qualifiers, deciding Game 3, coming up after this.